Hey everyone, this is Exploring Fiction, and welcome back to another video. So today I just wanted to give you my full thoughts on the book Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. And this is actually the first Brandon Sanderson book I've ever read, so this is really my kind of initial thoughts on him as an author too, I guess. Um, so I just want to keep this video a little short because I have a lot of other video ideas planned that I kind of want to upload pretty soon. So this one's going to be on the shorter side just so I can get around to starting those other projects. And yeah, a quick little disclaimer. There are spoilers ahead for the book Mistborn, which it's been out for a long time, and I just read it for the first time. So if you're like me and you haven't gotten to it yet, or you just have started to get to it, there are spoilers ahead. But anyway, let's get right into it. So Mistborn was a really, really fresh take on the fantasy genre for me. And keep in mind, this is my first Brandon Sanderson book. So, really, most of the fantasy books I've read are like Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, the Aragon Inheritance Cycle, and stuff along those lines. So I haven't been introduced as much to modern fantasy, and this whole idea that Brandon Sanderson crafted in this world that he made was really interesting to me. I love the magic system, and I wasn't bored or confused at all when he was explaining it within the context of the book. I was really interested, and it really gripped me and had me on board all the way. The characters, I love the whole cast, the whole crew of Vin, Kelsier, Breeze, Ham, Clubs, Marsh, all of them. They were just great, and I loved how they all had distinct personalities without feeling like each one was one dimensional. Um, and yeah, I love the whole heist type of setup for the plot mixed with fantasy elements, which is what Brandon Sanderson always described this book as. It clicked perfectly for me, and I loved it. Um, I thought that even though it was kind of a long book, it kept me dragged in, and it did not feel long at all. I feel like I need to spend more time with these characters, and obviously there's more books, which I'll eventually get to, but this book definitely left a good impression on me. It left me wanting more, which is what any good book should do, and I love the twists and turns throughout the plot, especially. And when you're reading at the beginning of the chapters, the old chosen one's diary, and you think it's the Lord Ruler, I love how eventually it pays off when you figure out the Lord Ruler is actually his Pac-Man who murdered him before he could gain all of his prophesied power. And I love that. I loved all the other twists too. I love the whole idea of Kelsier dying and becoming more of a religious figure to spur on the rebellion. That was great. I thought it was just fantastically written to the page, and I was not bored at a single point throughout this book. So, the only really negatives that I can think of are that sometimes I got confused when Sanderson started using slang for all of his magic system, and since there are so many metals that are involved in allomancy, I sometimes got confused on which ones do what when he wasn't in the process of explaining it, when he was just kind of using the terms he made up for like the different aspects of allomancy. And the only other little nitpick I have, and it's not really a big negative for me because I'm sure we'll get to it in future books, and it's just kind of the nature of this type of book, but was that the world building outside of the magic system and the couple cities that we visited within the novel wasn't amazing. Like, obviously you had Sazed who told about all the different religions, but I didn't feel as absorbed with the world building outside of Luthadel. And so I just wish we could have gotten more of that. But again, I'm not concerned at all because I feel like we'll either get to it, and even if we don't in later books, this type of heist story, even in a fantasy setting, there's not a ton of room for world building because you want it to be fast paced. So either way, it's not a huge deal. That's just one other nitpick I had. But overall, I thought Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson was a great read, one of the best books let alone fantasy books, I've read in years, and I can't wait to go into future books with these characters that I've grown to love. And as a first time reading Brandon Sanderson, I just obviously can't wait to explore more of his work. My praises can't be sung enough for his writing. So guys, if you've read Brandon Sanderson, let me know if you feel the same way. Leave a comment down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new here. I would love to have you. So, I will see you next time.